Welcome to Anafram Market Perspectives.
Anafram Market Perspectives, Friday, June 27, 2025. Hello and welcome to Anafram Market Perspectives. It's Friday, June 27th, and as June wraps up, the markets are showing strength in tech and commodities, while inflation, trade tension, and policy uncertainty continue to cast a long shadow. S&P 500 Weekly Recap. It was a strong week for the S&P 500, with tech and semiconductors powering much of the gains. Nvidia climbed 6.6% and Broadcom surged 7.5%, riding the AI momentum. Microsoft rose 3.6%, Apple gained 2.3%, and Meta advanced over 4% after a favorable court ruling on AI copyright. Financials also moved higher. JP Morgan added 5.5%, and Visa was up 1.6%, benefiting from sector rotation into banks. But not all names joined the party. FedEx dipped after guiding lower for the upcoming quarter, and MillerKnoll posted a net loss, pressured by tariffs despite higher sales. The market feels bullish on AI and hard assets, but leadership is narrowing. Rate-sensitive sectors like utilities and real estate remain under pressure. Trump tariffs and trade policy update. Tariffs are making headlines again. MillerKnoll reported a $36.9 million net loss for the year, impacted by steep taxes and trade penalties. The company raised prices by 4.5% to offset the hit, but margins are still strained. Meanwhile, China is slowing rare earth exports to the U.S., pushing investors toward domestic producers. MP Materials jumped over 31%, and Freeport-McMoRan rose 24.7% as the market priced in a potential 25% tariff on copper, expected by fall. Fed Chair Jerome Powell testified before Congress, stating clearly that the Fed won't rush into rate cuts until they assess how tariffs are affecting inflation. Tensions rose when Trump criticized Powell's leadership, and reports suggest he's already considering replacements, though Powell's term runs until 2026. Middle East conflict and oil prices. In the Middle East, a ceasefire between Israel and Iran remains in effect, and President Trump confirmed that nuclear talks will resume next week. The news helped stabilize energy markets. Brent crude held near $77. Still, risk remains. JP Morgan warned that if conflict flares up again, or the Strait of Hormuz is disrupted, oil could spike beyond $120 a barrel. For now, markets are cautiously optimistic. Economic data recap. This week brought a flurry of economic updates. U.S. GDP for Q1 came in at negative 5%, well below expectations. Durable goods orders jumped 16.4%, boosted by strong aircraft and defense orders. Pending home sales increased 1.8%, showing modest strength in housing. Core PCE inflation remains sticky at 3.5%, keeping pressure on the Fed. Consumer confidence dropped to 93.0, down from 98.4, reflecting growing economic uncertainty. In Mexico, bank interest rate at 8, causing further cuts. And in Canada, May CPI rose 0.6%, with annual core inflation at 2.5%. That gives the Bank of Canada room to stay patient. VIX volatility update. The VIX edged down to 18.90, showing signs of calm. Futures positioning indicates that traders are pulling back from volatility hedges. But with trade risks and global politics still in flux, volatility could easily return. Bonus section, ETF and stock picks. ETF XLB, Materials Select Sector. SPDR XLB ended the week at $87.78, staying above key technical levels. Ichimoku indicators and MACD momentum suggest further strength ahead, particularly if rare earth demand continues rising. Nike NKE. Nike closed at $62.56, breaking above the Ichimoku cloud with strong MACD signals. The move looks technically healthy, especially if consumer sentiment improves over the summer. FedEx FDX. FedEx finished the week at $220.96, slightly down after offering conservative guidance. The stock remains below the cloud and MACD is bearish, but its long-term cost-cutting efforts and strong revenue could support a recovery later in the year. Investor takeaways. AI and commodities are carrying the market higher, but cracks are showing. Weak GDP data, sticky inflation, and tariff-driven uncertainty are making investors more cautious. Powell is holding steady, Trump is pushing harder, and the second half of the year looks anything but quiet. That's a wrap for this week's Anafram Market Perspectives. Stay diversified, stay alert, and we'll see you Monday for your next market preview.
Thanks for watching. If you found this valuable, hit subscribe and share this with others. See you next time on Anafram Market Perspectives.